When I fled the monastery, I left behind the Herodric Malus, my enchanted smithing hammer. If you can retrieve it for me, I'll use its magic to strengthen your equipment.
This is the story of Tools of the Trade and the quest's original appearance in Diablo 2. The quest itself becomes available by speaking to Chazi, the blacksmith, following the Forgotten Tower quest.
The monastery can confuse even those who know it well. Stay alert in there.
After initiating the quest, we speak to the denizens of the encampment for more clues regarding this truant tool. Akara urges us to make haste, saying,
"The retrieval of the Herodric Malus is not without risk. Our monastery is filled with voracious hellspawn. You'd best be careful, my friend."
Shuddering at the thought of a monastery filled with voracious hellspawn, we then speak to Deckard Cain, the Herodric scholar himself, for further guidance.
The Malus was forged and enchanted by the ancient Herodric mages during the Sin Wars. When their union dissolved, the Malus was entrusted to the Sisterhood, guarding the pass into the east.
This Malus must be powerful indeed, to be forged by the Herodrim themselves, a secret order formed to safeguard Sanctuary from the forces of hell. It is also a great loss to think that the Burning Hells have their hands on this sacred artifact, and what wicked weapons they could create with it. Gede the merchant then confides in us, saying,
"Charcy talks of nothing anymore but this Herodric Malus. Between you and her, my ears need a rest. Just find it and bring it back quickly."
Poor Chazi, she must be beside herself over this missing hammer, but what do her sisters know of it going astray?
Charcy is wasting her time and talents using an inferior hammer. Had she the Herodric Malus, she could make the steel sing and craft you a suit of armor as impenetrable as the Great Eye.
Honestly, steel singing sounds favorable to us, and the Great Eye seems to be some impervious god of the Sisters of the Sightless Eye. Wareve sees us exiting the camp and beckons to us one last time to say,
"Just as an archer needs bow and arrow, or a draftsman pen and paper, so Charcy needs the Herodric Malus with which to ply her trade."
We firmly agree with Wareve's appraisal. After all, these are Chazi's tools of the trade. Exiting the safe confines of the camp once more and heading back into the unforgiving wilderness. The Rogue Monastery can be found by following the path through the Black Marsh and the Tamo Highlands. Once we reach the Rogue Monastery, a group of former rogues burst forth to greet us in undeath.
"Even the light cannot pierce this gloom."
Knowing we must aid in cleansing this once sacred place, we continue through the outer cloister, strewn with gore of the fallen rogues and statues of their former glory. And finally, we find the barracks. Once inside the barracks, the air is noticeably thicker and light, visibly dim. It seems the new occupants prefer the dark. Our quest then updates, guiding us to look for the Herodric Malus in the dark, somewhere inside these barracks. But beware, the smith that guards it. Before we do so, we head back to town to stock up on supplies and initiate the early return dialogue. To which Akara states,
"If you can't carry out this quest, how will you face the greater evils ahead?" Which
is a fair assertion. We must grow in strength or perish in time. Cain otherwise confirms.
The Malus has eluded you so far. Well, search thoroughly in the barracks. That is where the rogues kept their forge.
The Malus is in the forge, and we must scour it post-haste. Chazi similarly states,
The Malus is a Herodric artifact of great power. Please bring it back.
Honestly, she must be missing her Malus. Gede as well has a word for us when we have a moment.
"I've heard that you bear us no malice."
It's official. Gede finds himself punny. Heading next to Kasha, her warning takes on a more somber tone, saying,
To do battle with Andariel requires more than thick skin and a strong will. You'll want armor and weaponry forged with the hammer's enchantments.
Her words ring true. We will need to be well equipped to face a lesser evil, no less, and some of our gear is honestly less than optimal. We swing by Wariv once more as he says,
Well, what better opportunity to show your mettle?
So it seems there's nothing left to do but head to the barracks and test our mettle once more against demonic flesh. The Horodric Malice is located somewhere within the barracks, guarded by a demon known as the Smith. We know this much. We note that the first room we enter is guarded by Moon Clan and Devilkin and looks to be some type of dining area, now filled with blood, bone, and death. It's said around the camp that when Andariel's deceit overthrew the structure of the Sisterhood, a great struggle between the followers of Bloodraven and Kasha erupted. The rogues were forced to give up their ancestral home, and the monastery is now filled with voracious hellspawn. While all these dark beasts are dangerous, the Overlord who guards the Malice is particularly brutal. Known as the Smith, this vile craftsman now uses the power of the Malice to create weaponry for the minions of Diablo. And it wasn't long until we witness his handiwork firsthand. As we clear room by room, we come into what appears to be an armory and spy a great blue demon overlord who says,
I shall make weapons from your bones!
This must be the fabled Smith, working Charzy's old forge in a mockery of its former function. We take care of the two skeletons. Although a super strong unique, we are bolstered by the zeal of the high heavens themselves and vanquish the foul creature. We then check out a few blue items which the Smith dropped. None are really of note. However, what is of note is Charzy's own Malice, which we haphazardly bumped off the rack in the commotion. Now, with hammer in hand,
This will help the sisters turn the tide against evil.
we head back to the rogue encampment. Speaking first to Akara, who says,
Well done, my friend. But remember, the return of the Horodric Malice is but one step in reclaiming the monastery.
It's shocking to think that the sprawling monastery was the base of operations for the rogues, who have been exiled to this paltry camp. The sacred monastery, Andariel has claimed as her own seat of power. Cain tells us of the Malice, saying,
The magical effects imbued by the Malice are impossible to predict, but are always to the good.
We cannot be unhappy with the results that are rumored to always be good, though as a Horodrim, Cain may be a bit biased. Speaking of predictable results, we speak to the Rye Geed, who says,
I guess it's too late to take back some of the names I called you?
It's never too late, Geed. It's never too late. Kasha then tells us,
Now that the Horodric Malice is back in our possession, we shall use it to deliver a great blow against the evil which torments this land.
It does feel good to place the hammer back in the hands of the righteous. Wariv shares our sentiment and says,
I am glad the hammer has returned, and you with it.
Finishing our well-earned victory lap with hammer in hand, we finally visit Charzy, who excitedly exclaims,
Oh, thanks so much for returning the Horodric Malice. I will now imbue one of your items with magical powers.
By retrieving the Horodric Malice and returning it to Charzy, you will be able to imbue a piece of equipment with randomly selected abilities. Note that no magic, rare, set, or unique items can be used. And it's also worth noting that this can only be done once, therefore it is highly recommended that we wait until later game, such as in Acts 3 or 4, and imbue a higher level item. But that's it for the tools of the trade and the Sisters' burial ground. But what did you think of the quest? Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with upcoming lore videos out weekdays at 7 PM PST. If I make them on time, I'm sorry about today. If you want to further the conversation, my social accounts are linked. I love to chat to you all. We have a brand new Discord to celebrate lore and run Diablo 4 guilds, among other games, in which all are welcome. But as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, Traveler.